Dear viewers, my name is Dr. Rajul Dutt. Today in this session, I will discuss about packaging and labeling. It is in continuation of my last video on branding. So it is branding, packaging and labeling. Today I will cover the packaging and the labeling part of this chapter. Now, when we talk about packaging, as I said, once the decision is taken on a brand, that is when the brand name is fixed, a branding process has been done, we have to consider the design and the makeup of the package and labeling of the package. So package is the outwardly when where we wrap the paper, for example, product, or we store the product or keep the product intact, and the labeling is the name, again the marks been given on this, and this is in continuation of the brand. Hence the branding, packaging and labeling therefore are distinctly specialized activities. These three activities are specialized activities, and they are separate in a way with each other. It is not the product which is displayed and sold, uh, but it is the brand together with the package and the label which are sold, or we can say which enables to sell the product. So however, in this case, packaging is much more than mere packing. Now, I'm trying to discuss upon this that it is not only merely it is the packing. It plays in totality. It plays a very vital role in product development. Packaging is a marketing necessity. The people by and large does not just want the product, they want explanation, for example, assurance, encouragement, confidence while buying the product. Thus, when we talk about of a good package, it should ensures the ultimate success of the product. We have seen, whenever we go to the market, and whenever we visit the departmental store for that matter, it is, we are attracted towards the package, and more often than not we ask about the product, whether we want to buy the product or whether we are not buying the product. But if the package is attractive, if the name is attractive to us, we do ask about it, inquire about it from the salesperson or the retail person. In present age of the what we call it as a consumer oriented marketing approach, or in a way we call it as a buyer's market, packaging has gained unique importance. The utility reasons for packaging is basic, is protection, identification and convenience, for that matter, which serves as a sales appeal. For example, if I say reusable jar or cans, they have got, the sales appeal. Most of the buying, I've earlier said in my lectures that in Indian context, when we talk about it, is 70 to 80% of the buying or the household goods, they are being decided and bought by the housewives or the ladies, and therefore, these plastic cans, or when the product is being given in the plastic, for example, serve, for example, eatables. So if it is being, packed in a jar, so that becomes very attractive and it becomes easy to sell the product. However, packaging is also called as the fifth P of marketing mix. Now, in my earlier lecture, I have also mentioned that it is four P's is popularly known as, but packaging again over a period of time, in say in recent times, since in just 5 to 10 years, the packaging also is being considered as the major P of the marketing mix. Other mix I would like to again remind here that product, price, place, promotion, and the fifth P, which is being considered in marketing as the major tool, is the packaging. It is concerned with the designing and the producing of appropriate packages for a product. So it is, a lot of people behind the scene. they also, along with the product is another category, but when, as far as packaging is concerned, there are specialized people who, who think about as to how this product should be packed, and therefore packaging industry has gone up in a very big way as far as India is concerned. So, over a period of time, the significance of packaging has increased because of severe competition in the market, and the what should I call it, as improved standard of living of the people. Therefore, the modern organizations, they are resorting to innovating packaging to add more value for the customers. We need to understand that it is, the many modern organizations, they have realized, and they are realizing that it is not only the product again comes the secondary, again it is the packaging, or the package has to, how the product has been packed, it plays a very, very important role, and it adds to the value to the customers. Good packaging therefore protects, this is the basic requirement, protection for is of the product on its way from manufacturer to the retailer to the buyer. So one aspect which is majorly related with the packaging is, or the packet is, that it provides the protection, because the product has to travel from the place of manufacture to the wholesaler to the retailer and then to the customers. In order to, to keep the product intact, there should be no for example, it should not be destroyed, or it should not be harmed by the environmental factors, whether it is through transit, whether it is from the climatic changes, and so on and so forth. Packaging is often termed as the silent salesman, particularly where there is self-service ways of sales. For example, we go to a big, these days the culture of a big malls, and therefore there are no servicemen are available, or the retailers are not available, and therefore and the products are all displayed on the on the stacks, and therefore the message is being written on the packaging, and the consumers, the literate consumers and the known customers, or they go through the read various things about the product, about the manufacturer, about the use, how to use the product, so on and so forth, including the price. They are all mentioned, and therefore we call it as a packaging, or the packet as the silent salesman, because it gives all the information a salesman would give on asking, or on inquiring by the customer. Now, the definition of packaging is that the packaging refers to all those activities related to designing, evaluating, and producing the container for a product. So, container is where the product has been contained, where the product has been put, and therefore this container, it plays a very important role. In a way, the container is the packaging part of it. In a way, it is the packing, therefore, means either wrapping, or filling, or compressing, or creating of goods for the purpose of protection of goods and their convenient handling. Now, again, an extension of it, that apart from the protection part of it, it is more of the handling. If the, because of this packaging, or because of the packet, the product is being conveniently handled. That means it becomes easy for the consumer to buy and to take the product safely to the home. So packaging is the designing and producing of the container or a wrapper. I just mentioned about it, for a product, in order to prepare the goods for transport, sale, and usage. So there are three factors coming again, as I've been discussing. That is, one part is the transport, and that it helps in the sales or the selling of the product, and the third is in the usage of the product. Now, when I say usage of the product, it is, for example, I say deodorant. Now, deodorant, the top cover is because of a nozzle, a spray nozzle is there, and because of the spray nozzle, one can conveniently use the product. Similarly, for example, I take hit because of there is a nozzle there, and because you compress the packet, and there the required amount of the liquid comes out for to use. So then coming back to the again definition, the definition has two parts if we go into the details of it. That is the physical transportation and sale for ultimate usage of the product. So transportation is one, and sale of for ultimate usage for the product. And the second is the science and technology as well as the part of the package. The science of technology, for example, I've just mentioned about whether when we use through the nozzle or through the say, nozzle in terms of spray. So this becomes the science and technology of the product. So now it becomes very evident now to discuss about the various functions of the packaging. I have been discussing about say transportation and the protection, but as far as marketing is concerned, we have to look upon this packaging from the marketing aspect, and therefore there are various important functions that the packaging performs in terms of the marketing area or in terms for the sales area. So the first is the protection of the product. So the basic function of packaging is to protect. There's no deny to it. The first and the foremost aspect or the function of the product is as to how to protect the product, and therefore the package is being used and being designed. So that the product, it can be protected from breakage, damage during maybe transit, maybe during transportation, save the product against extremes of temperatures, contamination with other objects such as dust, etc., loss of liquid in the environment. For example, if I talk about perfume, so there is again the product should be packaged in such a way that it should not evaporate, because its nature is of evaporation. If it is being without the cover, we put the perfumes, for example, so they will evaporate, and therefore in order to protect it, we put up a nozzle there and we put up a cover there, so that there is no such thing happens. Second is the appeal to the customer. Again, I've discussed clearly that it is, to make the product looks or packed, in such a way that it appeals it should draw the attention of the customers. And in many cases, we also know when we go to buy the product, even if we do not, we buy to, for example, we go to the counter and ask for some product B, for example, and therefore when we look around by the time the product is being brought by the retail person, so we look around the shop and then we get attracted towards many products, though we do not buy it, we do not have the intention of buying it, but again, we ask the product. Now that is what the appeal is. That means it's once it comes to the mind, the person asks for it, so it is being believed that it is triggered off. It is it is being accepted by the I should call it now as a prospective customer. So packaging has now therefore become an important marketing tool, particularly for consumer products such as cosmetics, gift articles, perfumes, liquor, etc. Uh, I mean, in liquor, if you see, they come in such good bottle shapes. And again, apart from the brand, they plays a very important role as far as perfumes are concerned. Again, liquor and other such products are concerned. The other is the convenience. A good design, the structure, design here I means the structure of the packet is to provide many advantages, such as convenient to stock. It becomes, because it has to be stocked where at the retail outlet. So if the packet is good, if we want to put it set erect, so therefore the base should be a little broader. This is just for an example I'm quoting, and therefore it becomes very easy for to stack on the erectly, for example, on the shelves of the stores and or the departmental stores. easy to put off on shelf space and retains to the looks. So and therefore the good package, it remains for a longer period, at the same time retain its original size, and it should not go down, because if, for example, not all the products can be packed in a, say for example, paper. Now, how good the paper is, but after a period of time, maybe after 20 days, 30 days, or even after a month, the paper gets distorted because of the environmental aspect, because of the climatic changes, and the paper tends to lose its freshness. So again, it is being keep in mind that because these products have to be displayed for a longer period, it is not necessary you display it, and it can be sold into the market, and therefore various other types of packaging is a concern of packaging material. I'll be discussing as to the various types of packaging material which are being used for packaging. Another is the perform functionality. The science and technology part, for example, of the package refers to the package performing functions. It's not we're talking about something thing. It is as to how conveniently the product can be used. I'll just say, for example, if in a perfume, for example, the spray nozzle is not there. So how do we conveniently, a deodorant, for example, if there is a no spray nozzle there, it would be very difficult to use the product. Though we like the product, we want to use it, but because of the lack of the nozzle, it would not be easy to use. And however, with the nozzle there, now nozzle becomes the science and technology. We squeeze the product, or we put the nozzle down, and we get the liquid out. So this is one of the example of where to understand the science and technology aspect related with the product. Next is cost effective. This, the packaging cost to the manufacturer, and therefore its cost should go much higher, because it ultimately adds to the price, which in turn a customer has to pay. So it's not, when we talk about science and technology, it is not or we put up more things, because the more we add to it in order to make the packaging attractive, not the product, and therefore it adds to the cost, and these higher costs, it adds to the price of the product, and price goes up. So again, in packaging also, what we have to take care of is it becomes cost effective. This cost effectiveness, I would also suggest from the point of view of the customer. For example, I'm using the deodorant. If there is science technology of spray nozzle is there, so it becomes easy, because the wastage is less. When I use the product, it is up to the requirement. I push up the nozzle, and when the nozzle is up, the product doesn't come, or the liquid, it does not comes out. So it becomes, again, for me, as a cost effective, is I have paid certain amount, X amount of money, and how effectively I can use the product, because of the certain science and technology being used in the packaging. The next is the easy handling. Yes, of course, packaged goods are easy and convenient to handle. Packaging is a must for many products, such as, for example, ghee, butter, as I said, glass, materials, liquids. Uh, for example, we talk about these oils, if vegetable oils or eatable oils, for example, those are all packed in convenient packets, and these packets get separated. For example, for a kg, it is different, and again for 2 kgs, for 5 kgs, for 10 kgs, and because of the requirement of the customer, or the requirement in terms of as to how much is required monthly, because in Indian context, most of the products, they are being bought. For example, if I take it for groceries, they are for a month, so, and therefore it is needs to be according to the requirement of the family size. The requirement of, say, if I say refined oil, for example, so the refined oil again comes into the market in the packaging of say 1 liter, then 2 liters, or 5 liters, as the case may be. So it becomes very easy to handle, if I require, for example, 10 liters, so that can be brought into in easy, say, of 2 liters or 4 liters, as the case may be. And the publicity to the product. The packaging gives individuality to the products, uh, and it acts as a publicity. Manufacturers choose attractive packaging to encourage consumers, so that the consumer inquire about the product because of its looks, the design, the color, or the combination thereof. The customer also pays a higher price for a package for its reuse of the containers, and therefore what we discuss about this. So both the aspects are being clubbed together, the marketing aspect and the usable aspects to it related with the packaging, and therefore the packaging again plays, I want to stress upon that it plays a very, very vital role as the fifth P in the marketing mix. So next is comes in about the function. We'll discuss about the utility of the packaging. It is the what are the requisites for a good package. Uh, in today's business world, if I say, packaging has become an important tool for sales promotion. It acts as a silent salesman, and it gives rather provides full information about the uses, features, etc. to the customers, and therefore we call the packaging as a silent salesman. Now, without packaging, branding cannot be done or possible, as the brand name or the brand mark I have discussed earlier, are imprinted on the package. Now, this package again, from the marketing point of view, from the sales point of view, it becomes very important, because the branding is the name given for the identification of the product, and therefore it is imprinted, it is being printed there on the package, and the customer, they know about the product, about its name, about the manufacturer, so and so forth. Without packaging, the product would be, again, it would be very difficult to store, because when the functions of packaging, it is, it plays to store in the sense to put up in the shelf spaces in the retail outlets. So in order to achieve its objective, or the sales objective, efficiently, a good package should therefore possess the following features. One is the suitability. A package should suit the requirement of the goods to be packed. That is, the package designer should keep in mind the quantity, size, and quality aspects of the product. So the quality aspect is that the product should not get, distorted, or maybe destroyed due to certain so many reasons. So, for example, climatic one, I take it, and therefore these quantity, of course, I've said it is, for example, if the customer wants, in say 20 grams, 40 grams, or 50 grams, according to the requirement, and therefore the package, the suitable package or the suitable size of the package should be used, so that the customer buys it without any, without any problems, without any hitches. It becomes very convenient. Therefore, two is the product is a protective. Uh, Protective should be designed in a way, such a way that it protects the products from sun, heat, moisture, etc. So if it is, the product is of such a nature that it has got, for example, medicines, it is to store. They are being wrapped in aluminium foil, and there is an instruction, so that do not keep the product, or to keep the product away from the heat, because the heat again will make an impact on, one, the packaging, and the number two is on the product. So in the aluminium foil therefore protects to a larger extent the product. And for example, if I say certain medicines are being packaged in an aluminium foil, most of the eatables are being packed in an aluminium foil. Third is durability. Durability of the package is also an important aspect and consideration. I have discussed cost. The cost of the package is to be considered in the context of nature and value of the article. It's not like if the nature of the product is such that it can evaporate, for example, or can destroy it, or goes for a waste, and therefore the appropriate packaging is required. It's not always we're talking in terms of so if the product can be packaged in such a way that it is being used and the packet can be thrown, so not expensive packaging is required, not all glass packaging is required, or uh, cost highly costly material to make it attractive. Not there are certain products which not necessarily requires the high cost. So because we have to take a particular aspect on cost, because as a market in marketing, if the cost goes up, the price goes up, and therefore the economics suggests that if the price goes up, the demand goes down. So again, we have to keep the as a marketing person, as a marketing manager, as a marketing decision maker, to look upon it should, that the no matter how the packaging is, but it should be very cost effective. Attraction value. The package should retain its attractiveness as attractive products and packaging earns reputation. People they inquire about it, and therefore if the attraction value is not there in the package, it will not attain attention. And if the attention value is not there, the inquiries will not be there. So again, the whole idea of this packaging is that it should it should carry, all the packaging therefore should carry an attractive value apart from the protective in nature. Packaging material. So there are various types of packaging material as of now. I said this is a very big industry in India, for example, has in the last 8-10 years, this again for the packaging industry has gone up miles, miles away now, because it has become a very significant aspect for decision marketing decision makers to look upon this as to what kind of packaging is to be done. Now, therefore, this factor is very important as it influences the cost of the packaging. One, material to be used in packaging depends largely on the nature and the uses of the product. uh, Requirement of the customers. The package may be attractive and costly for selling the product to affluent customers, but it should also be economical to the low income people. So there is again, there are two aspects to it related to it, because whether the product is for say higher income group, or whether it is for lower income group, and therefore the it is the packaging, we again make the distinctive, because the affluent people, they are ready to pay for a higher price if the even the product is attractively packaged, and therefore it plays an important role. So just now I've mentioned about the packaging material. So the important or the various frequently used materials in packaging are, for example, aluminium paper, the paper and the cardboard, and the plastic paper, depending upon the nature of the product and the uses of the product. For example, the aluminium paper is used for packing chocolates, biscuits, cigarettes, and paper and cardboards are very popular packing material. They are cheap and are used in variety of products. They are cost effective, but retaining power is less. Now, on one side, they are cost effective because the cost of the say paper packaging is very less. But again, we have to take care. We have to take into consideration that its retaining power should also be more, because if the retaining power of the packaging of the paper is less, then the product is good, but the package is being distorted, or is being destroyed by any of the climatic factors, for example, it would not be sold. The shabby kind of a paper, or say, a paper which is being torn down from various aspects due to it's not being sold for months, or for 2 months or 3 months, and therefore it should not be it should be cost effective, but should not be it should not becomes the hurdle in selling the product. Now this is the aspect or combination of two, as a marketing manager one should take into consideration. There are again the plastic material. Now it has been revolutionized the packing industry. There is a revolution, in the packing industry. The plastic packing are durable, transparent, and airtight, and they are used in packing liquid materials, for example. And because of this, they are being used. So the jar can be used, for example, reusable, and to display about the product, to keep about the product for a longer period can be done, and it becomes suitable to sell the product. So this is all in the packaging area. Now, with again, I've said in my at the beginning of it that it is the branding, packaging, and labeling. Now, what is labeling? Labeling means putting identification marks on the package. Thus, the identification marks is that because of the package one, and with the marks of the identifications, uh, uh, maybe the color, the shape, the design, people identify the products easily. So labeling means therefore putting say identification marks on the package. It is an important feature of the product. The label is used to communicate, so maybe brand or the grade or other information about the product. A good label is one which helps the potential buyer to make his or her decision by providing relevant and correct information. However, the label should provide, as I've mentioned, the pictures of the product as to appearance, size, color, etc. Number two, directions for use of products, including cautions against misuse, as to on many products it means used to keep away from the children, and so forth. Those directions are on how to use the product. Again, the brand name, because if there is on a package, the name is being imprinted there, so the brand name, it should carry the brand name. The information such as date of manufacture and expiry date of product, if any, it is mentioned there on the label, as a label. Statutory warning, if any, on the cigarettes it's been given very frequently, statutory warning that is imprinted there. So this again becomes a part of the label. Price, place, and address of manufacture. So these are the various information which are being put on the packaging, and all these things related are being called as labeling the packaging. So that's all in this session. We have discussed about packaging and labeling. Thank you so much.